Yeah, Kenny Etheridge and the Washington State team is really good. That's a team that's been to, I think, the last three NCAA tournaments, and um, a team that understands who they are and how they need to play. We start talking about Walker, who can really fill it up. She had 40 against Washington, and I think 22 or 23 against Corpus Christi. So we wanted to make sure we kept her in check. For the most part, we did that. We just let other people have opportunities to get some scores and get to their average. We wanted to be able to hold them down. The other thing was, I thought that second quarter when we got in the rut of scoring and allowing them to get some easy baskets and just turn the ball over for some, because we turned them over the first quarter 8 times and had, I think, 14 points off of those turnovers. And then second quarter, we ended up turning the ball over with no pressure, just in the half court. And you just can't do that. You can't do that. But again, this team is still trying to figure it out. We're right there. Again, never a blowout. No matter who we play or whatever. I can remember, I think 4 or 5 overtime games, and everything is coming down to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points in the fourth quarter. So we just gotta minimize those mistakes and put it all together.
What was your message to the team after the game?
You gotta be disciplined to execute. It's just, you can't have the silly fouls, parading them to the free throw line. They shot 24 free throws. We shot 17. They were 20 or 24, especially a team like this. You have to just be constant, because a rhythm team like this in the half court, they will wear you out with everything they do. You had a scrambling when you let the ball go from one wing to the middle, then to the next wing. We want to be able to deny that. But my message to them was, we have to continue to get better. We have to continue to be who we are, because, again, I thought we could have turned this team over 30 times. And I think we only turned them over 19 times. Again, being disciplined was another part of that. And when we get into those ruts of, where it's difficult for us to score, we're standing around watching one person shoot the basketball and then coming out and just looking whether, instead of doing what we did the first quarter, we're playing ball movement, everybody touching the ball, and then we're getting a good quality shot. And that's all we asked for. But that was my message to them.
How disappointing was it to, after Brittany or Layla make a 3, to give up a layup right back within 5-6 seconds?
Chris, very different. Yeah, and the thing that pisses you off about it is, it's something simple. They just ran long. They just threw the ball. So it's all about matching up to your person really quick, because nobody's going to wait for you to take the ball out. Nobody's going to wait just to let you set up, because, again, they were worried about the back doors. I told them, don't worry about the back doors. We can give them 30 back doors. I bet you they won't make them. They might have made 2 out of the entire game. Go rush them. And that's not who they are. They're not a backdoor team. So that's why they missed all those backdoor easy layups. And so I told them to stay up the line and be able to continue to do that. But, again, you're dealing with 18 and 22-year-olds who are still trying to figure it out as well.
Coach, their runs were another major effort. And it was like you made changes, and then you were forced to call a timeout because it was too many runouts that were going after a made bucket or after a miss.
Exactly. And the thing that you have with that is, not paying attention on the bench or being locked in the game. The other thing you have with that is, as a coach, it puts you in a decision where do you just want to fall back and be in the half court? Well, I know it's going to be a challenge trying to guard them in a half court over 1 day prep or what they do. Man, please, we couldn't have been able to guard all of that in a half court over 1 day prep. And that's why I told our girls it's going to be a battle of us in the full court, because they couldn't prepare for that in 1 day. We both had 1 day in between. And so that's why we elected to stay in our full court. And again, it worked for us. We turned them over 19 times. Got to the free throw line, we got there, we got back within 6 twice, maybe 3 times. But again, you have to be disciplined and execute down the stretch to be able to pull these games out.
How good was it to see Brittany break out of her shooting slump from 3?
Exactly, really, really good. And that's what I told her, because that second quarter, she was not in it at all. She was allowing her person to catch the ball over the floor. And when I subbed her out, and I was like, Brittany, what is it? And she said, I don't know. their way of dealing with when they're frustrated. So sometimes you just need to sit down and look at it and be able to, okay, now I can get myself back together. But it was really nice to be able to see her come out and shoot the basketball and shoot it well as she did. That was the other thing about it. I thought the layup helped her get herself going, and then those threes. And then one thing about the threes that we've been working on with her is just catch and shoot. We don't have to have you dribbling off the screens to shoot in it. That kind of stuff. Just run and spot up and transition, do what you do. And those were the things that really helped her getting herself back together. Now your feet set, now you get your rhythm, your hips down, and you can just come off and shoot the basketball.